Jerry Jones, these players love, even if they don't play here, get drafted here, they love to take a picture with Jerry, and he's more than accommodating for that. And so, yeah, it's they've had a couple of the Ohio State running backs had both been here. Junkins yesterday and Henderson today. So, they're working through that here the next couple of days. They got the Dallas Day stuff they got done, and then then it turns into, once you get past the 30 visits, then they start building that board. So we'll start kind of maybe hearing some things, some whispers that guys they like or where they have their stack on some of their guys, maybe here in the next week or so.
Next week or so, we'll start to hear whispers of how they got them stacked, who they like. There have been a number of reporters throwing out 30-visit reports. I know Todd Archer.
He's been really good on it.
Mentioned Ted McMillan, Matthew Golden, Luther Burden, the wide receiver from Missouri, who Dez says is special. That's the wide receiver Dez is picking.
He's my second best receiver on my board. But there's, Zach will tell you that there's teams, and this is where I got to get with Gang of 7, is to figure out what are the things. Is there something that is, I don't think there's anything criminal keeping him from getting drafted. I just wonder if it's from a management standpoint of the player that people are getting turned off. Yeah, that's the part that we need to get to. But I don't think it's anything that it's domestic violence or alcoholism or drug. I don't think it's any of that.
Yeah, you hear the diva word gets thrown. But, I mean, that's a receiver. So, I mean, to me, it's a little weird. I mean, he was a guy that was a consensus top 15 pick, it seemed like, and now he's kind of fallen out of the first round. So he certainly is an explosive playmaker. I've got him as my personal wide receiver 5. There's some guys that I just like better. But, I mean, if they want to add juice to the position, he certainly is a guy that's going to provide that.
A couple of Longhorns linemen have been scheduled for 30 visits or have already been here. The offensive lineman Kelvin Banks and the defensive tackle Alfred Collins. Siobhan Ravel, East Carolina corner.
This is an interesting one here.
Why is that?
Just because that's a first-round talent that's coming off a knee injury, and you wonder if he is going to get to you at 44. That's and I know that when they come on these 30 visits, the trainers will get to look at him a little bit more. They saw him at the combine. They go home. They do workouts and stuff like that, and they get ready. And then so Jim Maurer, Britt Brown, those guys, when these players come through, if there's any medical things that they need to check on, then they will get it done there. But this is a first-round talent that might slide to you at 44, like what you did with Diggs.
That would be exciting.
Diggs went from the possibility of 17 and went all the way to 60, but this kid will, I'll tell you what, if he got there at 44, that would be really special for you.
They're bringing in the Aggies defensive lineman Shamar Stewart as well. Consideration at 12, right? He's not a 44 guy.
No, he's a 12.
Yeah, he's going to be probably a top 20 pick. I believe they had dinner last night with him, so he's come and gone. I think Walter Nolan, the defensive tackle from Ole Miss, is in today.
And that's interesting because Walter Nolan, guys, is a 3 technique. He's really, and then you've got, with Thomas, that you signed, and then also with Osa being redone, you would figure maybe they wouldn't be into that market, but it might be that Solomon Thomas just a 1-year deal, and could they? But it's I personally I wouldn't take him at 12 myself, but if he was there at 44, I'd absolutely make that call.
The other name on Todd Archer's list is the running back from Va Tech. Is it Basil Tootin?
Basil Tootin.
Yeah.
Have you guys watched him?
Yeah. He's a hell of a player.
He's an interesting guy because he ran. If you go to at the combine, he was like in the 4.3s.
Yeah, he was a 4.3 guy.
And so you're sitting there, and there's times where you feel like they go, wow, does he really have that 4.3 speed? And he's able to separate. So yeah, you do see him being able to do that. He's one of these guys too. He was one of the best in the country when it came to rushes of 15-plus yards.
He's a chunk guy.
He is. Like 54% of his runs were breakaway runs, what they consider breakaway runs. And so, man, the guy plays with contact balance. He can break tackles. he kind of plays sideways as a ball carrier. He's in that sidecar, and then they hand it to him, and then he just takes off because he's got the quickness, he's got the vision, and he's got the speed that he can make that work. He's 5'9", 206, so he's built really, really low to the ground. He's fumbled the ball 8 times, though, the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, that's an issue.
And so word from talking to some scouts about him is the majority of those fumbles came from second contact. So just trying to run tough, and then he loses the ball.
But he makes the first man miss consistently. I mean, he averaged 105 yards per game. So, I mean, it's really just the size is the question. If you remember Michael the Burner Turner, who played with the Atlanta Falcons and the Chargers, he kind of reminded me a little bit of him, and he also adds value as a kick and punt returner.
Yeah, but he does. The thing about Zach, I don't know if you saw this, they don't throw him the ball. He's not one of these. Like, there's some guys in this draft that you absolutely, I mean, they're receivers.
Yeah.
Like the Blues and guys like that. I watched the kid from Syracuse last night. That was
Allen.
Allen. He's got 60-something receptions to go along with the 1,000 and 1,200 yards he has running the ball.
Yeah, with Tootin, I don't think that's his fault, though, because you'll see some plays.
Oh, no,
like
they
he'll
just
leak out and they'll dump it to him. Yeah, they just don't throw the ball. He's not running routes down the field, but I think he's very capable of doing it.
All righty, it's the GBAG Nation here on the Fan. There's a little C-note for you. Cowboys news of the evening, most every day at 3:20 here on the Fan. We are at the Globe today, home of the Rangers, and they're going to take on the Rays coming up at 7 o'clock. We're just 3.5 hours from baseball, 20 days from the draft. Okay, and
it's a good time.
Obviously, the Dallas Stars kicking butt, taking names, winners of 7 in a row. There's a lot of great stuff going on right now in the world of sports. Sean McFarland has a piece up today on Sebastian Walcott trying to put on a show for the fans every night, and how one day soon he could end up being the top prospect in all of baseball. He's, consensus top 20. In some people's lists, he's a top 5, just depending on who you're looking at. But Walcott has all the makings of an absolute superstar. His quote in here, people think baseball is boring. I'm here to show people that it is not. So, he's got like this desire and this passion and love for the game, and he plays it with a tremendous amount of enthusiasm. But if he can get up here, pretty quick, and start to give you options in your middle infield, I think you got to look at it. Right now, we're dealing with another injury for Corey Seager. He's obviously getting up there. He's never been an above-average shortstop to begin with, and Simeon at second base. You have not had a teenager in the big leagues since Juan Soto in 2019. So, and he's actually the youngest player to reach Double-A last season. So this is like superstar trajectory type of stuff. If he does show up here as AAA gets going and absolutely dominates, I don't know how you can avoid this type of situation. As we're saying hi to all the Rangers staffers here. They're coming by. It's great to be back at the ballpark. But
it's a guy, Justin, man.
Yeah,
he's a beast.
Yeah, big time Tolo. He'll be working the bar probably downstairs.
Might go pay him a visit.
But what do you think about that, Wolchuk? The idea of Walcott, if he tears up the minor leagues, being a guy that, we're watching Young hurt, we're watching Evan Carter, career fail to really pick up where it left off. I think if you really want to open this championship window with authority and be a dominant team, I don't think you should be waiting around too much longer for Walcott.
Yeah, I guess you just wait and see, maybe second half of the season, and it could probably be an injury-related deal that would push him up. I'm not expecting to see him this year, but if he keeps performing, man, sometimes these guys are just special, and it'd be a hell of a story. And it would probably mean you're looking to retool some stuff with your infield. I guess there would have to be a conversation with Seager, do you move him to first base? I think he wants to stay at short as long as he can, but you got to know that, hey, if Sebastian Walcott's ready and able to come up, maybe there's something where he can play second for you if something's going on with Marcus Simeon. There's ways that you can get creative with this if indeed he forces your hand, but typically these things have kind of a way of resolving themselves. And that might be how this plays out in the second half of the season for the Rangers. It's a good problem to have.
Good article from McFarland today there in the morning news if you want to read it through your afternoon while you're getting ready for tonight's game here. It's an Apple TV game. Might be a little bit tricky, so maybe you just do like Broadus tonight and listen to all the games.
That's all I do. And no
Hicksey.
disrespect to Dave Raymond and Mike. They do a fine job, but I do. I love listening to Eric and to Jared and Hicksey and those guys. I just kind of gotten used to it. So while I'm watching tape, it's an easy thing to do. So appreciate all the hard work they do.
I have had a calming presence when they're in Cincinnati. We get off at 5 o'clock, whatever, cruising home, listening to the game.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's incredible.
Yeah, I like it for weekend games especially because I'm usually doing stuff around the house, playing with the kids, and just having it on. I don't know. There's something timeless about it. It's amazing.